This is the world's fastest charging electric car right now. It charges in 9 minutes. Now, I personally saw another Zeekr electric car charge in 10 minutes using a 600 kilowatt fast charger. Now, this is Zeekr's new EV, and its charging speed is just ridiculous. I've heard that actually it can charge at up to 900 kilowatt. I mean, what? Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. The Zeekr 7X. I know a lot of you are very interested in the Zeekr 7X. There is a 100 kilowatt hour battery pack version of this EV, which should have nearly 700 kilometers of range, which is awesome, right? But here's the thing. This car is not just awesome because it's got a lot of range. It also has some pretty damn amazing batteries. It's got the so-called Golden Brick battery, which is made in-house by Geely, parent company Geely, in a joint venture with Zeekr. So they make these batteries themselves. You can't get these batteries in any other types of cars. You can only get them in a Zeekr. This apparently means you could add 1,270 miles of range per hour. Now, the car doesn't have the capacity for 1,270 miles of range, but anyhow, in the United States, the fastest charging vehicle that I know of right now is the Lucid Gravity. The new electric SUV can do 400 kilowatt fast charging, which is pretty awesome. But in China, people are like, oh yeah, that's it's not that great, really. And they'd be right, because there's quite a few electric cars in China now that can do 600 kilowatt. While the US continues to kind of really be afraid of China, as they should be, and have 102.5% tariff on Chinese EVs, China is just getting on with things, and they are growing their global market share very, very quickly. The Zeekr brand grew by 95% in 2024, and Geely is one of the fastest growing car conglomerates in the world. Obviously, Geely is the parent company of Zeekr. Now, interestingly, Zeekr have some new models coming this year, new models coming next year. They've got a bunch of EVs coming. They've also got plug-in hybrids coming because now the company Lynk & Co., that brand will be basically absorbed into Zeekr. So this is going to be a bigger car brand than you might think. Remember, these platforms that Zeekr build their cars on, they're also the same platform that Volvo and Polestar use. They're built in the same factory, some vehicles as well. I've seen them in person on this coming out of the same production line. It's quite interesting to see. Zeekr says its golden battery supports 6C charging, meaning it can discharge at 5.5 times its total capacity per hour, actually about 6 times its total capacity per hour. Anyhow, at a rate of 1C, a battery would take 1 hour to charge. Essentially, they're saying you can charge this battery in 10 minutes or 9 minutes from 10 to 80%. However, it seems to charge even faster than that. And guys, I was at a Zeekr event in Perth in Western Australia, when was it? About a month ago. And interestingly, the VP at Zeekr, he said to me, he said, Sam, you know what? We've discovered we can actually charge our cars at 900 kilowatt. We haven't advertised it, but they can. So this vehicle, the 7X, the charging capacity, the charging was tested by Out of Spec, the YouTube channel Out of Spec in China. And he actually found the 75 kilowatt hour lithium iron phosphate battery. That's the Golden Brick battery. Apparently, it could charge at 840 kilowatt. So he ran the 7X's battery down to 0%. Then he pulled into a Zeekr charger, and Zeekr have the fastest chargers, I believe, in China. They're actually planning their own charging network in Australia. So you might be able to charge with crazy speeds in Australia as well. That would be crazy. That would be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it? Imagine if there was 600 kilowatt fast chargers here in Australia. I believe they're going to build out a network in Europe too. So this is pretty legit here. But it's worth pointing out, this is the lithium iron phosphate batteries that Zeekr use. If you want to buy the Zeekr 7X with the bigger 100 kilowatt hour battery, that's made by CATL. That's the Chilean 2.0 battery, I believe. That won't charge at these speeds. It's still fast charging, but it can't do 840 kilowatt charging like this car can. He said that, well, as you can see in the video, right after he plugs in, the 7X displays 200 kilowatt charging at 3% state of charge, which I've never seen before. And then the current exceeds 300 amps. The voltage is over 600 volts. As the car got to 10% state of charge, it ramped up to over 400 kilowatt charging, which I've also not seen before. The car that I saw charging in China, it was charging at those speeds at a certain point, but not that early in the battery. Not that early on in terms of the state of charge being only at 10%. It then hits 460 kilowatt charging, stays at 400, and doesn't slow down until like right till the end. So what that meant is it went from 0 to 70% state of charge in 10 minutes, 10 to 80% charge in 9 minutes and 45 seconds. This is real world, by the way. This is not some like theoretical test. And 0 to 100% in just over 22 minutes. It added a 600 kilometers of range, 371 miles for $13. And yeah, I mean, that's about the time it will take to fill up your internal combustion, your gas-powered car, your diesel-powered car. And it means it should put in around 21 miles of range per minute. But the range added per minute was actually much faster than that. If you look at its peak charge speeds, between say 10 to 80% charge speeds, it was adding crazy amount of range right then. Now, the great thing about this battery pack is it's not just that you can charge it really, really quickly. It's also very, very high energy density. The Golden Brick battery, no one knows the exact energy density. I've spent a lot of time trying to discover it, but I think it's around about 230 watt hours per kilogram, which means it's actually the highest energy density lithium iron phosphate battery you can get in any car in the world. So it's the fastest charging battery in the world. It has the highest energy density of a lithium iron phosphate battery, and it maintains its very high fast charging peak for most of the charging point, can charge from 10 to 80% in 9.5 minutes. This thing is insane. Did I mention the Zeekr 7X is also a really good car, battery and charging speed aside? Anyway, the Zeekr 7X is coming to numerous car markets around the world over the next 6 months. They have a lot of pre-orders in China, as you can imagine, I believe more than 50,000. And this car is going to really make some waves. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. One of the most anticipated electric cars in years, and I mean seriously anticipated. I'm not talking about the Tesla Model Y here. Yeah, I know a lot of people are waiting for the new version of the Model Y. I'm talking about the Zeekr 7X. Well, it just launched in Europe. You can now buy them in Europe. And we know the prices. What does that mean about what the car's going to cost in places like Australia? Now, unfortunately, Americans, you're not going to be able to buy any of these, obviously, which kind of sucks for you guys. But I keep getting emails, Sam, what's the Zeekr 7X going to cost? And I can't answer them all. Sorry, guys. And I don't even know the answer, but I kind of have a pretty good idea now based on what the car costs in Europe. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Thanks for joining the channel. If you want to join the channel, become a member, I'll put a link in the description below.